Oula! Ah! Au secours!
In the expanse of the polar regions, where nature presents its most uncompromising face, there lived a man whose life was an epic symphony of tremendous adventures, brave tenacity, and an unwavering resolve to explore the world. He lived in the polar regions. In the polar areas, he made his home. This Belgian explorer, Dixie Dansercoer, became a legend not only because of the vast distances he went, but also because of the profound stories he made with each step he walked on the ice. He was known as Dixie from the nickname he gave himself. He rose to prominence as a result of both of these factors. In addition to participating in extreme activities, Dixie's fervent need to learn about the world around him prompted him to travel to the most isolated parts of the planet. The pursuit of the unknown was the driving force behind him. His life was a story that was full of challenges, discoveries, and direct confrontations with the unconquerable powers of nature, and each journey was a dramatic chapter in his life story. His life was a saga. During the years 1997 and 1998, he participated in the Antarctic expedition with Alain Hubert, which is considered to be his most memorable trip. This was a significant accomplishment for him. A world record that stands as a monument to the human capacity for endurance and persistence in the face of the hard conditions of the Arctic winter is the fact that they were able to traverse over 3,932 kilometers in 99 days. This achievement is a testament to the human potential for enduring tough conditions. In the year 2002, Dixie made an attempt to travel all the way to the North Pole with Hubert by his side. It was his desire to experience new things that brought him to the northern part of the Americas. Despite the fact that it was unsuccessful in accomplishing its goal, this mission served as a demonstration of the unpredictability that is typically associated with adventure. Nevertheless, in 2007, Dixie and Hubert are credited with accomplishing a spectacular feat by successfully visiting the North Pole by means of a path that is completely unique. This accomplishment served as evidence of their extremely extensive experience, as well as their dogged determination. It was an expedition that exhibited his strong passion for adventure, as well as his admiration for the development of traditions associated with polar exploration. Together with Sam Deltour, Dixie broke the record for the longest non-motorized trek to the South Pole in 2012. This accomplishment took place in the year 2012 and was accomplished by Dixie. For the purpose of demonstrating the boundless potential of the human race, they traveled through the wide white desert on skis that were propelled by kites during their journey. The 7th of June, 2021 was the day that Dixie was prepared to add another chapter to the story of his life. At that moment, he found himself in the midst of the vast wilderness that is contained within Greenland. When the sun began to gently rise over the vast ice landscape of Greenland on that particular 7th of June, the world that Dixie Dansercour and his friend had been living in was about to undergo a shift that would last for the rest of their lives. During those final minutes, his wife, who was an expert in logistics and communications for his missions, recalled those moments by which he passed away. It was a combination of resoluteness and emotional ferocity that she used to do it. Following a night in which she was unable to sleep due to gastrointestinal issues, she observed that Dixie was already feeling substantially better. During the course of a usual conversation that took place in the wee hours of the morning, something took place. In light of the fact that the wind was not yet favorable enough to move on, they came to the conclusion that they should take a rest. The seemingly small details, which were normally unnoticed, turned out to be valuable recollections. To add insult to injury, that final, "I love you," turned out to be an unexpected farewell, despite the fact that it was stated. When the unexpected phone call arrived, the day proceeded on as it had been going until that point. Up until that time, everything had been going according to plan. A voice that was transmitted from the other end of the connection conveyed the information that Dixie had fallen into a deep crevasse, which was a gaping hole in the ice that appeared to be impenetrable. The fissure was known as a deep crevasse. She was in a situation where she absolutely needed to arrange a rescue attempt in a short amount of time, and her mind, which was normally focused and logical, began to race. The participant who was in need of aid was her cherished husband, despite the fact that this was her work and her duty. The participant who was in need of assistance. Those prolonged periods of time spent waiting and praying for a favorable outcome seemed like an eternity, and seemed to drag on for an indefinite amount of time. She was keeping in touch with the rescue team, with Seb, and with their children at the same time that she was attempting to ease every moment of fear they were experiencing with a gleam of optimism. The heartening news that the rescue crew had spotted Dixie finally arrived after a difficult time of waiting. He was no longer within the reach of rescue efforts since he had grown disoriented and lost his way in the depths of the glacier. There was a complete disintegration of the planet. While she was in the process of preparing for the unexpected, she was obligated to break the news to her children that their father would not be returning. In the process of getting ready for this moment, her heart crushed. She went about it with the fearlessness of a lioness, knowing that she had to be there for them in their moment of terrible sadness, despite the fact that it was a duty that touched her to her very core. She knew that she had to be there for them. One thing remained crystal clear as the days passed, and as the pain gradually gave way to acceptance, it became abundantly clear that Dixie's enthusiasm for traveling to the most remote locations on Earth, his dedication to understanding climate change, and his commitment to sustainability would continue to live on in the hearts of those he had left behind. He not only left behind a collection of adventures, but he also left behind a legacy of steadfast commitment to the protection of our cherished planet. He left behind both of these things. As a result, even in the midst of her loss, his wife stayed steadfast in her determination to continue working toward his mission, to ensure that his dream would continue to be a reality, and to keep fighting for the world that he valued. Because even though Dixie is not physically present anymore, his spirit continued to linger on in every snowflake that fell and every ice floe that drifted on the ocean of memories. This is even though Dixie is no longer physically present. Motivation comes from the legacy that Dixie has left behind for future generations. Future generations of explorers will continue to draw inspiration from his life and expeditions, which were driven by passion for the Earth, excitement, and perseverance. His life and expeditions will continue to serve as a source of motivation. We are reminded of the splendor of our world and the relevance of conservation as a result of his courageous attitude and the contributions he has made to raising awareness about climate change. This is because of the fact that he has made these contributions. As a result of the impact that Dixie's steps have on the ice, we are given the idea that we are being encouraged to investigate the boundaries that we have set for ourselves and that we are being beckoned to the unknown. His story serves as a timely reminder that, when it comes to the pursuit of adventure, the journey itself is just as significant as the goal that one is trying to accomplish. Despite the fact that Dixie Dansercoer was not only an explorer but also an icon of adventure, an advocate for the environment, and an inspiration, his life story continues to echo in the hearts of adventurers all over the world. A man who lived for the boundaries of the unknown, a man who taught us to dream and dare. His name is a lingering echo of a man who lived for the unknown frontiers. The Arctic regions, which are typified by their extreme silence, are where his name is whispered by the wind. The story of Dixie continues to inspire us and serve as a reminder that the most exciting adventures are still to come, buried beyond the horizon in the wide and unknown wilderness of our great world. All of these things continue to excite us,